right, hello everyone. All right, we're going to talk a little bit about how it is that we are really navigating this new world and building out our systems across Walmart. So it's no surprise that we're really in a moment when it comes to AI and agentic AI. It is literally reinventing everything, and Hari and I are right in the middle of it. We feel it every single day as we're working with our teams. But we also see it with our customers and with how we do work and our associates as well. It's changing how it is that they're actually interacting with us. We see our customers starting with AI when it comes to shopping and their commerce journeys. They're talking about very complex questions like, how can I figure out how to get this refrigerator, and that's going to fit into my home? We're starting to plan an event, things of that nature, and using AI to basically simplify all the things that they're doing that they would normally do to do their research across multiple sites. They can get all of that through AI. And through agentic AI, because it simplifies everything, it summarizes everything. And then with our associates, we know that it's an expectation for them as well, as they're looking to AI to help them basically supercharge the way that they work so that they can work smarter, faster, better. And so when we think about that, how it's just sort of profoundly changing our business, it's cutting across every single part of our business, we really have to rethink how it is that we actually build our systems, our solutions, our experiences just across the board. And as we've been thinking about that, we've been using a framework around how it is that we can do that to simplify how it is that all of our stakeholders actually interact with us. So you may have heard, it's something that we've talked about publicly, our strategy around our 4 super agents. And it starts with our customers and our members, giving them just one simple place for them to come to us to do their commerce, to do their shopping. There's a place for associates to basically come and get the tools that they need so that they can do their work better. And then, of course, we have one place where our partners, sellers, advertisers, creators can come, and actually anyone that needs to do business with us, they have one place that they can go. It's trying to simplify things. And then, of course, there's also the place where how we build things, or developers can go to really get the tools and things that they need to do that. And so this framework has really helped us to simplify how it is that we're approaching agentic AI. And it's taught us that we really need to be deliberate about how we're doing things and thinking about how we build these things from the ground up, starting to put the right frameworks in place so that we can go from the thousands of services that we have to potentially tens of thousands, if not more, of agents that we're going to have to, that we are building and that that we need to navigate. So,
yeah, I think you're spot on, Desi, right? As systems become more and more agentic, we're going to start to see agents proliferate. And if you're not careful, we're going to be in the same place where we were with microservices back in the early days, where we had many microservices, and the system very quickly became too complex for us to be able to manage effectively. So what we are doing is we're moving towards building a registry of agents that will allow us to quickly discover, reuse, and build agents, new agents faster, while continuing to be extremely careful with regards to security and the consistency of the user experience. So this layer below the super agents that you just talked about will be responsible for things like agent orchestration, registration and evaluation, maintaining long-term and short-term memory and context, as well as providing some level of role-based access for various agent personas. So think about the future where you will have agents on behalf of customers, on behalf of associates, that will take on their persona. And we have to impose the same mechanisms for role-based access control that we do today for users, that we will need to do for agents as well. And then, of course, the layer will provide for the basics, such as auditing, observability, logging, and so on. We're also being very prescriptive in that layer, in that middleware, to ensure that, we're really integrating our foundational models. So for a retailer like us, when we talk about foundational models, it always begins with the customer. So we have a deep understanding of the customer, and over time the models become richer and richer, not only do they know everything about the customer and their preferences, but also in the context within which that customer journey is happening. A second part of the foundational model is really understanding everything about the store. Walmart will always be a retailer that is both people-led and tech-powered, and the stores will continue to be at the very heart of our ecosystem. So how do we then build an agentic model of the store that allows us to understand everything that's happening inside the store, both from a customer lens as well as from an associate lens? For example, moving things from the back room to the sales floor, and those sort of understanding the core capabilities of a store, but then also making them more and more agentic in terms of the daily operations. And then finally, the most important part of the foundational model is really understanding our supply chain. Walmart, as you all know, runs an extremely complex supply chain, all the way from the suppliers through our distribution centers and our consolidation centers to our stores, and then ultimately through the last mile through our customer homes. So being able to model that effectively and creating a digital twin is going to be a key part of this middleware as well. So I think all of that will then come together for us to be able to deliver these great experiences for our customers while also making our associates more productive.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, you have to have that foundational layer in place.
Absolutely. Yeah.
And one thing that you said that also just comes to mind for me as we're thinking about the consumer experiences and experiences that we have to build. Our consumer-facing agent, which is live, Sparky. We're learning a lot in terms of how the experience needs to change, and I kind of liken it to sort of the moment that we had with mobile, where you were going from a big screen with a desktop to something that's very small. Now with AI, the experience is going to fundamentally change. We've got an experience that, from a retail perspective, that hasn't changed in over 20 years, where you've got a search bar at the top, you've got navigation off to the side, and it's crazy to think now, like we're asking our customers to actually go and tell us, by navigating and searching and breaking things down into keywords, what it is that they actually want. And the AI and agentic AI completely breaks that paradigm, and we have to think differently. In a world when you talked about the foundational models and how we think about our customers, we are going to be constantly learning about what our customers, as they express to us in a natural way, either through text or voice or passing through images, whatever the modality is, what it is that they're trying to do, what it is that they're trying to achieve, and they can do that in very complex ways. And now we need to have an experience that understands that, interprets that, then provides the right experience, almost on demand, to basically, to meet that need. So, when a customer comes in and they say, hey, I want to plan a unicorn-themed birthday party for my 6-year-old, we've got to, understand that and adapt the experience, appropriately. And as they're interacting with that experience, we need to also, change as well. So if we understand, for example, that, by the way, this needs to be a vegetarian party, we've got to go through all the things, whether it's the food, we need to change that. We need to make sure that we've got all of the party favors, all of the decorations, everything that they need in one place to be able to shop, and then be able to adapt and change that. And so that's just a completely different way of thinking about our experiences and how it is that we're actually building things.
Yeah. And I think when you think about the customer experience, the part that's most interesting and exciting for me is the fact that it's going to be a lot more bidirectional. So if you think about it today, as a customer, I launch an app on my iPhone, I click on something, and I am initiating all of these actions. In the future, I expect that customers will interact with a simple search bar or maybe even a voice interface, and they may ask certain queries, and in response to that, the screen is going to be adaptively refreshing, and the application will respond to the user's queries and prompts. And that likely will happen across multiple different modalities, including voice, which I expect will become more and more prominent, as well as on multiple different devices. For example, on television screens like Vizio, we're going to see Sparky really come to life as people interact with it in a more natural and intuitive way. And then, of course, going beyond the customer experience, Walmart operates stores all across the United States and many other countries, and we see agentic AI playing a big role in how our associates do work every day as well. So for our associates, we're building things like guided workflows, where associates don't need to think about what they're going to be doing, but instead the AI will guide them through what their next best action is based on various real-time signals like inventory signals, like shelf gaps, weather and demand changes and shifts. So whether it's restocking a high-velocity item onto the sales floor or monitoring produce to reduce fresh waste, our systems are going to now suggest and even in many cases initiate the next best action that our associates can take. So what that means is then our associates are going to become that much more productive, and they will then be able to spend a lot more time with customers who are visiting the stores rather than with the back-end systems. And I expect that we will start to see a proliferation of agents in the stores that will do a whole variety of things, including shift and schedule management for associates, learning and training, especially as new associates come in during the peak season demands for labor, or even things like spill detection. So being able to monitor for spills and quickly alert an associate to take action so that we can avoid customer and associate falls in the store, or shrink prevention, backroom inventory management. Really the possibilities when you think about agentic AI in the context of our associate journey is just endless, just like in the case of the customer journey.
Absolutely, yeah. Again, it's like fundamentally reinventing everything it is that we're doing, and we're learning every single day, and pivoting, where it makes sense. But we wouldn't be able to do that if we hadn't taken a step back and really thought about, okay, how are we going to do this in a way so that we don't repeat the mistakes of the past, as you said, with microservices, and make sure that we put the right frameworks in place. Think about this deliberately, make sure that we are actually simplifying things for all of the stakeholders that are trying to interact with us, and then building things in a very deliberate way. It's basically transforming every single part of our enterprise and how it is that we think about our business and how it is that we think about engaging with our customers, and doing all of that from the ground up.
And it's about being extremely intentional and deliberate in the choices that we make, right? I think Suresh talked about it. It's not just about building AI and technology for its own sake, but rather to be useful in everyday lives for our customers, our associates, and our developers.
Yeah. At the end of the day, it all starts with the problem that you're trying to solve for your customers and for your associates. And how can we now do that in a completely new and different way that's going to remove friction for them, and solve the problem better and in ways that we couldn't before.
Yeah, personally, I couldn't be more excited about the journey ahead.
Yes.
And I'm sure you all are as well.
Yeah. And we're all customers, we're all associates.
Absolutely.
So we're all living it every single day. Yeah.
Great.
Great. Thank you so much.